This peptide doesn't need to be injected, isn't considered doping, and isn't banned by any sports federations, because almost nobody knows about this secret discovery, and even if they did, there is no way to test for it. But almost nobody knows that there is a natural peptide which is not only healthy for the body, it improves reaction speed, making it great for athletes in various sports, but it also enhances muscle endurance, reduces fatigue, and accelerates recovery from training, allowing for more frequent and effective workouts. The best compounds most people know of are anabolic and androgenic steroids that work for muscle strength and endurance, but these drugs are toxic to varying degrees, may cause organ damage, dependence, and shorten your lifespan. They are also well known, so they don't give you that edge over others if everybody else is using them. And honestly, most supplements suck. Herbal supplements often have unexpected side effects or just don't work well enough to give athletes the edge that they need. So some athletes turn to doping with banned drugs to get an unfair edge or compete in untested federations like the upcoming enhanced version of the Olympics that advocates for no banned substances. Some who need more endurance capacity turn to things like EPO, like Lance Armstrong, to increase red blood cell count and improve oxygen carrying capacity of the blood. But it's expensive and has the risk of blood clots if you overdose. If you are an athlete looking to dominate your sport, then understanding this peptide and how to use it will put you light years ahead of most people who have never even heard of these discoveries before. When I first started using this peptide, my abilities improved almost immediately. I felt less fatigued during workouts, could train harder, and recovered faster. I also noticed my reaction speeds increased greatly. Not only did it help my muscles recover faster, but it also aided my nervous system's adaptations, which is important for maintaining high performance because nervous system fatigue causes delayed reactions and strength loss. This peptide is just 3 amino acids long, with the sequence GluAsp-Arc, and it's known as Pinealon. How is it possible that these peptides are capable of this literally superhuman performance enhancement, yet almost nobody is talking about it? The reason is simple. Peptides like Pinealon haven't been explained in a way that speaks to people. The people who understand the science tend to be very analytical in nature, while those who can explain it well don't fully grasp the science. Discussing deeply scientific concepts doesn't easily capture people's attention, unless they can understand the clear benefits of them in relation to their goals, be assured of their safety, and have the best protocols to use them. That is why I created a peptide mastery course at peptides.unyieldingvigor.com, where I show athletes how they can use Pinealon and how to stack this peptide. This course includes over 300 scientific references, with a lot of translated Russian content. So if you're serious about dominating your sport, you must see this course. It even shows you how to combine these synergistic peptides with other supplements for even greater effects. There's even a safer, cheaper alternative to EPO in the course's bonus module, which can pair really well with some of these peptide stacks. Just visit peptides.unyieldingvigor.com for more, because in this video, I'm focusing on Pinealon. And while some influencers call Pinealon the pineal gland regulator, or quote experts without fact-checking, you should know that is false, because Pinealon was actually isolated from the brain peptide extracts known as sirtuin and cortexin. And I've created the world's most comprehensive Pinealon post on my blog at unyieldingvigor.com, backed by over 100 scientific references, so I can speak on this topic with clarity. Here's what Pinealon has been proven to do. First, Pinealon was tested in well-trained athletes, and it was found that under the influence of Pinealon, their heart rate was 10 to 12 beats per minute lower while generating the same power output. Think about that for a minute. If you were running or training, imagine your heart rate being 10 to 12 beats per minute lower. You would be much less likely to max out, and you'd have more of a reserve. Pinealon was also tested in female judo athletes, and it was found to reduce fatigue and improve their coordination and reaction speed. This is amazing because mixed martial arts like judo require quick reflexes. Having a reflex that is just a fraction of a second too slow could result in losing a match. And Pinealon was also tested in male wrestlers, and it was able to reduce their fatigue when training compared to a control group who didn't take Pinealon. Normally a wrestler's endurance decreases as the match progresses, like what happened with the control group. However, the wrestlers who took Pinealon had very little drop-off in performance. They could maintain their best performance for longer, giving them an edge over competitors who tired out. Pinealon was tested in a time trial on a treadmill each day until physical exhaustion. And although this specific study here is in mice, it's such a great study because it was compared to the old Soviet drug known as Bemetil. This drug, also known as Bemetil, Anti-Hot, or Metaprot, was used for its active protective effects and its ability to reduce oxygen consumption under training loads. In other words, it's well established to have somewhat of an anti-hypoxin effect. But Pinealon was able to beat Bemetil. How can this be? Well, Pinealon has even more powerful anti-hypoxin effects. In mice that were put inside a hypobaric chamber, meaning their oxygen was cut off, it was tested to see how long they could remain conscious. Various peptides were tested, but the mice given Pinealon were able to remain conscious for a longer period of time than any of the other groups. Now this is just amazing, and if you want to improve your sports performance, such as reaction speed, endurance, and recovery, you should definitely be using it. In my Peptide Mastery course at peptides.unyieldingvigor.com, I cover the best way to dose Pinealon, and other synergistic peptides that pair really well with Pinealon. This information is absolutely crucial if you are someone who is willing to go all out and does not want to be left in the dust by your competition. But how does Pinealon work? Pinealon enters inside the cell, binds to the histone proteins and promoter regions of the DNA, and influences gene expressions. This is really cool because a lot of the drugs don't have histone proteins and DNA binding capabilities. To learn more about this, you can check out my How Peptides Are Changing Humanity video. But here, I'm just going to touch on which genes Pinealon upregulates. These genes include PPARA and G genes, which improve mitochondrial biogenesis and utilization of glucose and fatty acids for fuel. Pinealon also increases the FNDC5 gene, which codes for irisin, and irisin is a myokin, which means it's released by our muscle cells during exercise. It stimulates the uptake of glucose into the muscles to be used as energy. It does this through upregulating one of the glucose transporters called GLUT4, which takes glucose from the blood and pushes it into our muscles so it can be used as fuel. This creates a powerful synergistic effect with the PPARA and G enhancement, leading to enhanced energy production and utilization, and it even synergizes well with exercise. Next, Pinealon increases the HSPA1A gene, which codes for heat shock protein 70, and this is a protein released in response to heat shock. And actually, this specific heat shock protein is also released in response to cold shock, which is quite interesting. But anyway, there are many proteins that are normally released in response to heat shock, and heat shock factor causes the expression of many of them downstream. Pinealon is only known to activate a specific one, called HSPA1A, which is the gene coding for heat shock protein 70. So this protein is especially valuable in the context of muscle recovery and repair, because it improves the quality, sensitivity, and the function of the androgen receptor. HSP70 has even been shown to prevent muscle atrophy, in one condition called spinobulbar muscular atrophy, which is caused by a polyglutamate tract disruption in the androgen receptor, similar to what happens with the mutant Huntington protein in Huntington's disease, which I also have a video on. HSP70 is able to counteract the damages caused by this polyglutamine addition, but even in healthy subjects, at least in preliminary mice studies, this protein, when overexpressed, is able to prevent muscle atrophy. It works whether or not you have a disease because it still enhances the quality control of the androgen receptors, which are the receptors that our anabolic hormones like testosterone bind to, so it can help you get even more effects out of your hormone. These are the most important genes in the context of improving sports performance and recovery. In a separate video on cognition, I'll discuss some of the mechanisms that may contribute to that and the enhanced reaction speeds. So again, if you want to take your sports performance to the max, I cover the most synergistic peptide strategies and stacks in my course at peptides.unyieldingvigor.com. It's the only course that covers all 40 of the Khavinson peptides, and additionally covers other. If you are serious about performance, you'll want to check it out along with the bonus module on improving athletic performance. I'm also currently developing the best genetic analysis tool I've ever seen, which is specifically designed to maximize one's performance with peptides, nutrition, and lifestyle strategies based on their genes and other biomarkers. I've been using a beta version with my coaching clients, so if you want to take things to the absolute limit, we can show you how to get all of this genetic test performed at home and then analyze your genes to build the best strategy for you. For that, you can go to unyieldingvigor.com/coaching. This has been Brenden Henry, the world's leading expert in peptide science, bringing you the most comprehensive video on Pinealon's relation to athletic performance enhancement on the entire internet. Thank you for watching. Please give it a like if it was helpful, and subscribe and share this video with others who you think would find it helpful.